In the spring, local ranchers graze cattle along the South Fork of the Boise River, while early bird anglers fish and float for trout.
Cattle grazing is one of our multiple use activities on the Boise National Forest, and it's kind of an awesome mix between what people do for fun and what people do for a living, and it's kind of what makes the West unique.
Rancher Clay Davison says his cattle graze along the South Fork where people camp and fish during the month of May. This is a time when they should expect to see cattle.
In the early 90s, my family, Forest Service, different fishing groups came together and talked about a resolution on when cows could be here and when it would be best for fishermen, the multi-use to really mix together. Came up with the idea of coming in here the 1st of May until the Friday before Memorial Day. And then we'd have most of the cows out, everything we could. Most of the summer would be cow-free for most of the fishing access area on the South Fork here.
So when you come up here fishing and floating, you need to understand that this is multiple use Forest Service land. So if you're here in the spring, you're gonna see cattle down by the river. It's working land.
On weekends during May, Davison said they drive cattle away from the South Fork corridor on horseback.
We'll push them up the creek away from the main road, just so campers and stuff can come in here on the weekends and not be bothered by cows too much.
Later in the season, Davison cattle may be grazing across the river from the camping areas and on pastures elsewhere in the canyon. Most people are cool with coexisting with cattle, but not everyone.
We had a side-by-side ATV chasing our cows from one end of the pasture to the other because they didn't like manure in their campground. So kind of let them be, they'll move on. Not a whole lot of people mess with our cows, maybe more than we know, but nothing real extreme.
Recently, Davison worked with the Boise National Forest to put up a new easy access gate for anglers by the Danskin Bridge.
We talked to Forest Service and had them buy the gate for us, and we installed it just to help fishermen get through the fence here to access the river more. We just installed it last year, kind of late summer, and last fall and this spring it's worked really well.
Interestingly enough, despite the recreation pressure in the South Fork, Davison is more worried about campers causing wildfires than harassing his cows.
We kind of cringe when it gets dry and there's a bunch of campers with fires and stuff like that.
The Davisons live in Prairie on a beautiful bench above the South Fork. They lived through the Pony and Elk Complex fires in 2013 when the wildfire roared toward their ranch in the middle of the night. Fortunately, no structures were lost. They see cattle grazing as a way to reduce fire danger in the summer.
We worry about fire danger more to really just lighten the fuel load and the fire danger for all summer. One of the main reasons that we're here to help with. We don't want to overgraze any area because we're here in the long term. My family's been at Prairie for 100 years, so we want to come back next year and still have a good range to go to.
Overall, Boise National Forest officials hope people can enjoy the recreation experience on the South Fork while coexisting with other multiple uses.
So I think you have to get along together in a resource like this. It's hugely popular for recreation. Everybody needs to coexist.